Well, it looks like we might be getting another national bank for XRP. This article here is from the Bitcoinist.com and it's titled National Bank of Georgia selects Ripple Labs as potential CBDC partner. Ripple, bring it on home. Bring it on home. We need that money. Let's scroll down here and see what's going on. So it says here, in a significant announcement, the National Bank of Georgia has shortlisted Ripple Labs alongside 8 other firms as potential technology partners for its central bank digital currency pilot project titled, quote, Digital Gel, unquote. Ripple is on the short list of 9, so we have to be some other companies, but we definitely can do it. They can take this. This could be a significant development. It says here, in an official press release dated September 28, 2023, NBG disclosed its intent to introduce a, quote, limited access live pilot environment, unquote, which, by the way, hey, I'm going to be putting out a members only video. I believe it's a significant one because there's things occurring right now. So if you haven't already, join that members only section. I believe I'm going to put that video out either tonight or tomorrow. We'll see. It says here, aiming to test the technological feasibility and potential applications of a CBDC system, the bank emphasized its current technological agnostic, unquote, approach, suggesting an openness to a variety of technological backbones for the digital gel project. So the 9 companies that made the cut are, here we go. We got to do some research into some of these companies. Authentic GmbH, one. It says Bit Incorporated, Broxis Holdings Limited. Never heard of them. Currency Network Limited. DCM Corporation Limited. eCurrency Mint Incorporated. Fari Solutions Limited. I'm going to look into these companies. I've never heard of any of them. Have you? You guys let me know. Ripple Labs. Yes, yes, yes. We are the best of the best. I'm saying we like I work with Ripple or something. It says, and Sovereign Wallet Company Limited. Each of these companies was recognized for showcasing, quote, sufficient technology potential, maturity, capacity, and relevant experience and desire to join, unquote, the NBG's endeavor. So this is another huge thing occurring. We just keep winning. So Ripple's connection to the Digital Gel initiative is validating previous speculations, particularly after a high-profile meeting last year. In May 2022, CEO Brad Garlinghouse held discussions with Georgia's Prime Minister Irakli Garibashvili. My apologies, everyone. So, and Vice Prime Minister Levon. Sorry about that. Levon, like the arm wrestler, Levon Saginishvili. This is Levon Davidishvili. In Davos. Yeah, that's right. I know about Levon. Yeah. One of my favorite arm wrestlers, by the way. It says, at the time, Prime Minister Garibashvili highlighted Georgia's ambitious roadmap for blockchain integration, tweeting about the productive discourse with Garlinghouse and labeling Georgia as a pioneer in assimilating blockchain into public services. Something I want to add in here is, once again, just keep in mind, even if we're not directly running these CBDC systems, which a lot of them I believe that we will be doing, we still will be needed to connect everything together. And that's the beauty of the systems that Ripple and Stellar have set up. Algorand also. They will still need us to connect everything together. So either way, I believe, just my humble opinion, not financial advice, I believe we will connect everything together. But this, I believe we can take. A few more meetings with these prime ministers and the vice prime minister, and I think it's in the bag. The technology speaks for itself. We've been making a massive amount of innovation, so you let me know how you feel about that. So now let's move on here to another article because there's a lot of big news going on today. A lot of great things happening. So this article here is from the CryptoBasic.com, and it's titled, Ripple Partner SBI Remit debuts international money transfer services with Shonan Shinkan Bank. More big things happening. This is why it's so easy to cover Ripple and XRP activities. They always have something going on and they make no secret. Not only that, the companies building on the XRPL make no secret about what they're doing. Well, they don't keep it secret for long. Let me put it that way. It says SBI Remit, a money transfer service that utilizes the Ripple payment solution, has partnered with a Japanese credit union to make international transfers cheaper and faster. I love SBI Remit. Bring that money right to us. It says long-standing Ripple partner SBI Remit has expanded its footprint in Japan. On Thursday, SBI Remit's parent company, SBI Group, announced that the company has partnered with Japan's Shinkin Bank, my apologies, for an international remittance service. Shonan Shinkin Bank operates Shonan Credit Safe, a 99-year-old credit union that allows foreign workers residing in Japan to receive and transfer payments to relatives back home. The union also services corporations providing deposits and loan services. However, the latest partnership between SBI Remit and Shonan Shinkin Bank focuses on helping foreign workers send remittances. XRP in the building. It says, my humble opinion, we'll see how it all works out. It says but we know SBI is crazy about XRP. It says the official announcement acknowledges a significant increase in the need for foreign workers in the regions where Shonan Shinkin Bank operates, especially the industrialized Kanagawa Prefecture region. Oops, sorry about that. I scrolled too fast. It says Kanagawa Prefecture is the fourth largest area with foreign workers in Japan, with the number of employees reaching a new high. The growing number of companies launching in the region and the acceptance needs of foreign workers make the partnership with SBI Remit ideal for Shonan Shinkin Bank. It says new remittance service to use Ripple's technology. The new partnership between SBI Remit and Shonan Shinkin Bank will incorporate, quote, the latest financial technologies. I wonder what that is, such as Ripple's distributed ledger technology, unquote. SBI Group stated in its announcement, leveraging the solution allows the new partners to provide highly convenient, low-cost, and fast payment remittance services to foreign nationals in Japan. Meanwhile, the latest development marks another landmark in Ripple's partnership with SBI, which has been in place since 2016. So we go deep with SBI. We all know that, since both companies had established SBI Ripple Asia, a joint venture that explores the use of XRP for international payments. In a related development, SBI recently showcased the use of XRP for on-demand liquidity remittances in Japan. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, it's not long. My humble opinion, I feel like that is not long. Yes, our time is coming. And I saw a little green activity on the charts today. I was very excited about that. I like to have fun. Even if it's small, I like to have fun. Is that what we're waiting on? No. Waiting on those banks to come in, that bank money, of course. But I still like to have a little bit of fun. And it was nice seeing that green. It was. And I know the people have fun when it's green too as well. So it says here, for on-demand liquidity remittances in Japan and the Philippines, the Ripple developed solution would drastically reduce international transfer timelines from days to mere minutes. My apologies if I speak a little fast at times in some of these recent videos. It's only because I have so many articles. I have about 34 articles up here in front of me. So I'm trying to get through them in as timely a fashion as possible without having to cut most of them like I usually do. Which, by the way, check out the members only section. I made a lot of good posts in that members only section over the last week or two. Give those a read. Some of them are videos. Give them a watch. They've been significant. And it's going to lead up to a lot of what I'm going to talk about in this next members only video that I'm going to release either tonight or tomorrow morning. That one's going to be significant because there's a lot of interesting things occurring right now that we need to take note of. So I'll see you over there in that members only section. Let's move on to another article here. So they keep talking about this Ripple IPO that's going to skyrocket, obviously Ripple stock price, but also possibly skyrocket XRP. So this is another article about that from cryptonewsflash.com, and it's titled XRP's Moonshot Moment. Hey, listen, a lot of people have said that a lot of things were going to move XRP's price. I never thought about Ripple's IPO in that way, but I've been seeing a lot of articles like this, and hey, I'll take it. If it does, I'll take it. But it says here, Ripple IPO valuation set to skyrocket 20x to $600. Someone else was saying this before in a similar article, but this is coming from someone named Colin Brown this time. It says here, the recent legal turnaround for Ripple XRP has led to a ripple effect of possibilities that could potentially reshape its financial standing in the cryptocurrency realm. This pivotal development, as discussed in a tweet by Colin Brown and elucidated in our recent post on Ripple, brings to the fore the rising speculation of a looming initial public offering. So this is what Colin Brown says. I'm figuring this is why they're posting this here. It says, Ripple victory party speculation. What kind of announcement awaits us? It says settlement, IPO, major partnerships with trillion-dollar banks or SWIFT, XRP futures. It says share your guests in the comments. Pretty interesting options there. Is that happening tonight? Is that when I think it was the 29th they said? I believe it's tonight. This is as we delve deeper, the focus sharpens on how this legal triumph could stir a notable valuation crescendo, spiraling Ripple stock value to new heights. It says, well, let's skip that part. I'm going to go to things that are really XRP based. They have a Ripple thing here. Let's go to number 2. IPO chatter, the $1 milestone beckons. It says, amidst the rejuvenated confidence, the chatter has gravitated towards the feasibility of XRP gracing the $1 valuation mark. The imminence of the Ripple proper party event. Oh, yeah, September 29th. So it is. Today's the 29th, correct? Believe that it is. It says September 29th is seen as a catalyst in fanning the flames of these IPO speculations. My apologies. I don't always keep up with the dates. I wake up and I just get to work. Wake up and I start working. I start researching. And it's very easy when you're taking in all this mental information to get lost in time. It really is. All the days just start to blend together. It just does. As a seasoned Wall Street analyst, Linda P. Jones underscores the potential spike in Ripple's stock value post-IPO, drawing a parallel with Coinbase's IPO. We've heard that as well. So they're iterating a lot of what we've heard from others here. All right. So, hey, the IPO could be significant. We shall see. If it is, I'll take it. If it's not, I'm not worried about that. I'm waiting on that bank money, and it looks like things are going well with the banks as we may be bringing in another national bank very, very soon. So I'm looking forward to that. I want that money. I'm here for that money. So now, this here is from CoinDesk.com and it's titled Banking Giants. They're not ready. The people are not ready. I'm telling you, they don't believe. And it's so crazy that it's staring them right in the face. These huge banks and companies are trying to take over crypto. You think those trillions aren't coming? You think we're not at the top? XRP, XLM, Algorand, HBAR, Quant. Let's read this little tidbit. They're telling banking giants abuzz about tokenization of real world assets as DeFi craves collateral. JP Morgan, Citi, Franklin Templeton. Did you see what they just did? We got an article coming up on that very soon. It says, are digitizing traditional assets. Will they end up trading on crypto networks? We shall see. I mean, look, Franklin Templeton's already in deep with Stellar. I don't know why they would not utilize Stellar for a little bit more. Like Wisdom Tree indicated, they might. It's not a guarantee. They said they may. So we'll see how that goes. It says tokenization, the blockchain-based ownership and exchange of real-world assets, was one of the buzzwords at last week's CBOS conference in Toronto. The global banking industry's annual technology convention. Old hands in the cryptocurrency field are probably rolling their eyes, remembering the, quote, blockchain, not Bitcoin, quote, narrative that was popular circa 2016, though that has completely changed. And it's a multipolar world now where they're going to need something that's trusted, a neutral party that's trusted to transact back and forth. We already saw them penalizing more banks for working with other countries, right? So those countries, which were part of the BRICS nations, are not going to be using Western systems. We are in the game because of that, deep in the game. I mean, we're in the game without it, but with it, we're definitely in the game. But let's keep going. It says here, during that crypto bear market, vendors breathlessly pitched sanitized versions of blockchain networks to financial institutions and other corporations. Yeah, but that was before the bank coins just completely have been dominating the last 2 years. Is very clear the trajectory of where we're heading. It says at one end of the spectrum are banks and financial institutions whose blockchain activities have largely been confined to using permission networks. What do they say themselves? They said in an article we read recently that they're siloed. They're cut off, closed ecosystem. They don't have interoperability. And so they need what we have, interoperability. They need a lot of what we have, but interoperability is at the crux of what they need from us, and we're going to give it to them, and they're going to give us those trillions in return. Just my humble opinion, not financial advice. It says here, public blockchain ecosystems are at the other end of the spectrum, looking for asset diversification to fuel areas like decentralized finance. Here's a quote. It says, quote, eventually the biggest market for real world assets from banks will be public blockchain protocols that need diversified collateral. What does that mean? Do you see? It's going to be big. It says, quote, unquote, said Sergey Nazarov, the co-founder of decentralized Oracle network Chainlink, who's been active. Chainlink has been a busy bee, and they're looking good. In my humble opinion, they're looking good. It says, quote, I think the public blockchain protocols are the ones that will be willing to pay the biggest premium for the diversified collateral. The yield from the public blockchain world will be very attractive to banks. We're going to make, oh man, it's going to be ridiculous. And the regular people aren't going to see it coming. It says the banks tokenize and put into their protocols, making those protocols more resilient and reliable. I think everybody knows higher prices are better. It makes the liquidity is better. The transaction times are better. What do you call that? The higher the price, let's say of like XRP, for as an example, the lower the transaction fees. So the higher the price, the lower transaction fees, right? So and really to them, it's not price, it's about the value that they're moving. So I keep that in mind as well. So that's always a significant factor when I think about these things. But let's continue on here to another article. Okay, we have a lot to get through. A lot of major stuff happening. Do you? I mean, are you seeing what I'm seeing here? So this is a little short one here. This is from U.Today, and it's titled Shiba Inu and XRP to expand global reach to 190 countries. Slow and steady, little by little, mass adoption is occurring. It says here the global reach of cryptocurrencies, Shiba Inu and XRP, will significantly increase to over 190 countries as a result of the partnership between the cryptocurrency payment provider WireX and on-ramp aggregator OnRamper, which is expected to contribute to overall crypto adoption. So they sort of just iterated what I was saying. Little by little, we're creeping up on mass adoption. And because these companies have taken over and they want to make a pretty penny, oh man, those trillions will flood in. It will catch people by surprise. Unfortunately, a lot of them that will try to get back in will buy at the top. And here's the thing about the company. See, I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on that bank money. So I'll be around for a little bit. But those companies, they're going to squeeze people dry, pump the price, people getting at the top. The company's going to take your money. Then they're going to come back, pump that price again. People are going to buy at the top. They're going to be caught off guard again. They're going to take that money. They're going to rinse and repeat that process. I mean, you see the lesser entities doing that already, right? They get the price up a little bit, it looks green, people put their money in, then it goes down, they take that money. This is how it goes. And if you don't think that these massive companies are going to do that to a greater scale, I don't know what to tell you. I definitely think that they are. Definitely. They're here to make some money. They're not here to play games, right? And all the other industries are looking at tough times ahead. But to tell you the truth, if we had regulatory clarity across the board, crypto could play at any time. Is that volatile? The volatility is great. It's a very, very good thing to have in your back pocket because crypto can pop off at any time. It's just is being kneecapped right now by lack of regulations. That's number one. And number two, they continue to hit us with liquidity drains because of the treasuries. Treasury yields went up again. So if you're going to have that happening and you have the governments giving people what is seemingly a much, much better deal to make locked in gains, the people are going to go towards those gains. So the liquidity is going to come from risk assets like crypto. But you already know that. But here's the thing. See, there was a sell-off recently. So when that sell-off happened, all of a sudden things start going a little bit green because the sell-off happened, had a little liquidity to play with. But if you notice, things went green, then they went red, then they went green again. So then what was occurring at that time simultaneously is all these articles coming out. I don't know if they actually did it about yields going higher, which makes sense because every single time there's a massive treasury sell-off, they raise the yield again to bring the people back, and the people do go back, which I understand completely. They go back and buy those treasuries again, and the liquidity leaves the crypto and risk assets markets, right? It just leaves risk assets. Let me put it that way. So yeah, so that's the only thing. Those are the things right now that have been holding back crypto. Other than that, crypto will be able to take off. We would already had a couple of bull runs led by Bitcoin, in my humble opinion. But let's go on here. This is my humble opinion. You could disagree with that, but that's what I've been seeing. So now, what is this article here? It says realistic. I have an article here. It's from cryptopotato.com, and it's titled Realistic Ripple XRP Price Prediction for this cycle. Let's stay balanced here. So we have some pretty extreme predictions. Let's do one lesser prediction, to remain balanced. Why not? Oh, and it comes from eGrad Crypto, one of our favorite analysts here. So it says here, eGrad Crypto believes it is, quote, crystal clear, unquote, that the next time we witness one monthly green candle closing above 83 cents, quote, it will mark the birth of the next steel foundation, unquote. Quote, in plain English, you might never acquire XRP for less than $1 in your lifetime, unquote, they assumed. I will say this to be fair. We've heard that a lot of times before, only for black swan events to occur, right? Harsh economic circumstances to take hold and XRP to plunge and people be able to buy it under $1 again. So we've heard that before, but could it be true in the future? To remain fair and balanced, yes, it could be true in the future. I personally think that in the future, when everything pops off, that retail will be priced out. It'll be like those prices will go high. And here's why I say that. It don't take a lot for retail to start being turned away from buying crypto assets. And I say that from my experience in the stock market and crypto, and just being out there in the world, the real world, and talking to a lot of groups of people about both stocks and crypto throughout my lifetime. And hearing them say, oh, well, it's $7. That's expensive. $5 expensive. A lot of these people don't want things that are above like $2, $3, $4, $5. They don't want it. They like to play at a low price and see insane yield or insane gains off of something that costs like $1, below $1, $2, $3. You get what I'm saying? They don't want something that's $20. Even though whatever's at $20 could go higher, 15 could go higher. Yeah, we know that. But and on top of that, I'll say this also. In addition to having a lot of people having that mentality, and I get it. I completely get it. 100% get that. But in addition to having that mentality, now a lot of people just don't have the capital to play with. There's a huge struggle going on. This is a depression, folks. Oh, a recession, a hard landing. There's a crash landing. People are losing their jobs. There's a tsunami of bankruptcies going on. All the banks are closing down their branches, and it's not because they're changing their structure, because digital is better. Digital is better, but they need to save money because deposit flight has been so impactful. Deposit flight, meaning what? People pulling their money out of the banks. Massive amount of stores closing, small businesses closing around the United States. You've seen that as well. So people may not have that extra capital to play with. Affordability of living at an all-time low. So people can't afford these apartments. They can't afford mortgages and such like that. Mortgages, I have an article somewhere up here. Mortgages just went up like yesterday again. I guess I don't know if that's in certain areas, but we'll get clarity on that another time with that article. So they may not have that capital to play with also. I take that into account as well. So what I'm saying is it won't take a lot to price retail out at this particular time. But I do think XRP is going much, much higher. It can't be dirt cheap. It can't be dirt cheap. There's no way. And I do think that when it reaches acceptable volatility, that it will be a preferred store of value. So just like commodities, where you have platinum, let's start off proper. You have palladium, platinum, gold, and silver. That's four solid stores of value where you can make good gains. I know I just made some gains on platinum, by the way. But anyway, I think crypto will be like that. You can have XRP as a store of value. You can have Bitcoin as a store of value, and they both be at respectable prices. Just like I said, palladium, platinum, gold. All right. And so I think you're going to have multiples of respected stores of value, in addition to them being able to be used for liquidity and settlements and things like that. So let's move on here. Let's move on to another article. So now, this article here is from the cryptobasic.com, and I thought it was interesting. It's titled, Ripple Identifies Effects of Increased Interest Rates on Businesses. And one of the things they talked about was liquidity. Listen, liquidity in a lot of different places is at an all-time low. And you tell me if that's great for us or not, because I think it is. Right? So yeah, let's go to this section, and it begins. Higher interest rates inevitably lead to increased borrowing costs, which in turn diminish the liquidity available for cross-border transactions. We're going to make a killing. Do you see the setup? You see how, is it me or is the Fed doing things that are deliberately in the favor of the new financial system? It's against the legacy system because it's crushing them, especially the stranglehold they've been putting on banks with all of these new regulations for banks. But then they do something like this, lowering the liquidity in the world when Ripple, a liquidity provider, is on the hunt. So you're making it more delicious for us. Keep doing what you're doing, Fed. I mean, it's terrible, but it's going to work out for the new 1%. People were warned. What can you do? You can't tell people, you can't tell people. They have to see it for themselves, or, we are the select few. That's how I look at it. It says here, this reduction in liquidity directly impacts businesses' ability to facilitate swift access to funds and international B2B payment. Whoa. Was that? Whoa. All right. Let's leave that there. It says, which is crucial for their operations. To navigate this, I think I read that wrong. There's no way they meant that the way that I took it. Facilitate swift access. You got to be careful when you article writers, when you use that word swift. Okay. Anyway, it says to navigate this, finding the right global partner is vital. It says inequitable financial services access. The rising tide of interest rates can exacerbate inequalities in accessing financial services, particularly for small enterprises and emerging markets. The conventional correspondent banking system often comes under scrutiny for being expensive and sluggish. However, innovative blockchain-enabled payment solutions like those offered by Ripple provide a more dependable and efficient alternative. We're going to dominate. They need the liquidity that we can provide. When those big companies like BlackRock, Valkyrie, Wisdom Tree step in, I mean, there could be, not a guarantee. I'm sort of being anticipatory here, but there could be so much liquidity in XRP. It just makes it delicious for everybody to get involved, to protect themselves from having a lot of what they hold become illiquid, that things could be much bigger than what we're expecting. I think that, I believe that. So now let's move on here, because we're always making improvements. We're always doing better. And this is no different at all. This is from the cryptobasic.com, and it's titled Zoom to use CTID feature in XRP Ledger version 1.12. It says here, Weistwind, Zoom developer and founder of XRP Labs, shared this news on X. He revealed that with the upcoming Zoom version 2.6 expected in a few weeks, users would benefit from the CTID feature when using a network explorer or sharing its link. It says, this is his actual tweet. It says, with Ripple 1.12 and Zoom 2.6 upcoming, it'll take some more weeks. When opening an explorer or sharing the explorer link, Zoom will refer to the CTID as well. CTID is much shorter than a transaction hash and contains the network ID, meaning the right explorer and network, I think it's going to say can be utilized. CTID, or concise transaction identifier, is a leap forward in the transaction identification on the XRPL. Wind explained that CTID is substantially shorter than a transaction hash and includes the essential network ID information. So we continue to get better and better and better on XRPL. We're going to continue to win, just like I know you're winning this week. Appreciate every single one of you being here. Thank you. Let's move on here to a Stellar affiliated company. I'm not sure how deep they still are with Stellars. We have to get an update on this, but I know Flutterwave had a very deep relationship with Stellar at one time. So let's read this little tidbit here and see what's going on with Flutterwave. It says, Flutterwave CEO, African consumers need faster and secure payments to thrive in digital economy. It says, Nigeria, Africa's largest economy, has all the tools for success in today's connected global economy. But despite its economic prowess, restricted access to foreign currencies remains a major hurdle that is hampering international transactions, curtailing investments, and limiting individuals' abilities to tap into the global opportunities. It says, quote, there's almost no, and I'm very happy that they did not engage in major conflict with Niger. ECOWAS was having that problem over there because of France, but I think things are starting to get a little bit ironed out at this time. It says, quote, there's almost no legitimate way you can go through today to buy dollars. So obviously there's a lot of underground markets happening as people have real needs, unquote. Flutterwave CEO Olugbanga Agbula told Payments, pointing to individuals who are left struggling to pay for a flight ticket, book a holiday abroad, or even pay for their child's tuition at a foreign institution. Wait a minute. Now, I'm going to try not to get lost, but I want to look up Flutterwave and Stellar just to see if they still had that relationship. Flutterwave, Stellar. Let's see. Let's do a little quick search here. So here's an article from 2021. Flutterwave enables new Europe-African payment corridors. It says today, the Stellar Development Foundation announced that Flutterwave, a global payments technology company, has launched 2 new remittance corridors between Europe and Africa on the Stellar network. That's what I thought. Okay, and then the second article is about that same thing. I'm trying to see if it's still continuing, and I haven't seen, I'm just scrolling down. I don't see anything saying that they are not working together anymore. Flutterwave enables ex-border payments from Europe to Africa. Stellar partners tap USDC for remittances from Europe to Africa. Stellar to launch new, okay. Flutterwave announces new Europe, okay. Pay for Stellar site SEO on Flutterwave. Top Flutterwave competitor. Okay, so I don't see anything saying, any articles popping up saying that they're not working with Stellar, so I'm assuming they're still using Stellar to some degree. I'll do a little bit more deeper research just to make sure, but that's good activity from a Stellar affiliated company, if they are indeed still using Stellar-based systems to some degree. So now let's move on here to another bit of Stellar information. A lot of Stellar activity lately. Lots of good activity from one of our absolute favorite bank coins of all time. This is from medium.com and it's titled Allbridge Launch Connects Stellar Network to Solana, Ethereum, Polygon, and Cello. Ooh, they're cooking. It says here, new cross-chain bridge brings newfound interoperability and simple asset transfer between prominent chains. Stellar's on fire lately. It says, as a longtime participant in the Stellar ecosystem, Ultra Stellar, you know, it's weird. If we go back into a bull run in the next few months, I'm going to take Ultra Stellar getting active as like some sort of sign. I tell you, because the last time Ultra Stellar was really active and doing anything major was the last bull run. That's strange to me. So we'll see. But it says here, Ultra Stellar takes immense pride when strategic partnerships come together, helping combine technology to bring usability to the Stellar network. Today, we have the pleasure of revealing our work with Allbridge, an established cross-chain solution provider, resulting in seamless interoperability between Stellar and a multitude of blockchains such as Ethereum. This is very good. Solana, Polygon, and Cello. They are strategic with this because these are powerhouses. Solana, Speed, Polygon, all that connectivity that they do over there, and they have a lot of good partnerships. And Cello, oh, we have something to talk about in that members only video coming. I'm telling you, you'll see. You'll see. Allbridge, renowned for their robust ability to expedite asset movements across blockchains, has designed a unique Stellar bridge that complements its existing system of validators. This pivotal development brings good news for Stellar developers, offering a reliable pathway to expose decentralized applications to an expansive user base across various chains. In addition, all Stellar users benefit from the ability to bridge assets between Stellar and other networks, increasing the usability of Stellar as a place of exchange and on/off ramping. All right, we're going to stop right there. Let's move on here to another Stellar affiliated company making big moves. Now, this article is from cryptopolitan.com and it's titled Franklin Templeton's Bitcoin ETF application receives green light from the SEC. Is this real? Like, anybody else can verify this? Because I don't hear anybody talking about this. Like, articles, this should be everywhere, but I'm not seeing it. This should be huge news. Let's read this tidbit and see what's going on. Franklin Templeton winning again. Franklin Templeton, a global asset manager with $1.5 trillion under management, receives SEC approval for its spot Bitcoin ETF application. The SEC postpones decisions on Ether exchange-traded fund applications from VanEck and ARK, with a final verdict expected by late May 2024. In a significant move, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has given its nod to the spot Bitcoin ETF application from Franklin Templeton. But so that did they not give it to BlackRock? I don't proclaim to know everything, but I saw nothing on BlackRock or Valkyrie. They gave it to Franklin Templeton. Didn't Franklin Templeton apply recently, like after BlackRock and Valkyrie? This is getting interesting, folks. I don't care what it takes, as long as it pops off maybe a bull run. Can we get a bull run, a small one, please? But this is major. It says here, listen, if they, all of the top cryptos are going to be interlinked at this point. Let's make that clear. So if they're making money and they choose to move money from that Bitcoin ETF, they make a lot of capital with Bitcoin. That capital could flow through Stellar systems. If they want to move it here and there, Stellar is going to be used for a lot more than cross-border payments. You see how Franklin Templeton's using it. Now, if they decide to expand their use of Stellar, a lot of capital, not just Bitcoin capital, Bitcoin generated capital, but a lot of capital could move across Stellar. Theoretically speaking, we have some of the cheapest fees. Nobody's in control of Stellar, so you get the control as a company. Smart contracts on there now. You see what what Ultra Stellar's trying to do. I mean, I think the future is extremely bright for Stellar because of its association with companies like Franklin Templeton, Wisdom Tree, and it's only going to expand. But we'll see in the future if I'm correct. I could be wrong. So that's huge. Let's move on here. I want to get to a few more articles before the end of the video. I still have 15 more articles in this video, oh my word, for this video, but we're not going to get through all of them. I could tell. It says here, once again, liquidity drains are a threat. This is from dailyhodl.com. It says Bloomberg analysts. Oh, no, this is in reverse. My apologies. This is good. It says Bloomberg analyst predicts investors will begin to shift from bonds to Bitcoin in coming years. Well, I hope it's going to be soon, actually, but they keep raising yields on treasuries. This is, oh my word. It says Bloomberg Intelligence crypto market analyst Jamie Coots says investors will soon start shifting traditional bond investments to Bitcoin due to one key factor. Coots says that in the face of US dollar debasement, Bitcoin is a better performer than bonds. He looks at the performance of bonds and other assets like Bitcoin versus US M2 money supply. Haven't we been talking about it? The M2 money supply is what shows that we're in a depression for real, not a recession, a depression. But let's keep going. It says, which is a collection of cash, personal savings, and market accounts accessible to consumers. Quote, and if allocators want to outpace monetary debasement over most time frames, this is why a lot of people say cash is trash, as cash is losing lots of value, monetary debasement. It says, well, this is just outright world reserve currency. What do you call that? I forgot the word for it, but anyway, it's losing a lot of purchasing power. My apologies. That's what I'm trying to get out there. It says bonds are not the place to be. Substitute any money aggregate for the denominator and you get the same results. Here I am using US M2 money to have a nice chart here. According to Coos, traditional investment portfolios would have performed better with just a small percentage of Bitcoin at the expense of bonds during the past 7 years. A lot of you out there have Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to do fantastic in the future. I don't know how high it's going. I don't proclaim to know any of that type of stuff like that. I'll leave that to the predictors and influencers. But I will say this, and analysts, but I will say this. Bitcoin looks like it's about to have a bright future. It is. They're looking at Bitcoin like how a lot of us traditional investors look at gold, right? And there's so many of them calling out that Bitcoin is a safe haven. I just don't see how Bitcoin doesn't have some sort of insane bull run. I could be wrong, and maybe that doesn't happen, but it's going to be an insane bull run, and it's going to pull everything up. And at that time, once again, not financial advice before I say this, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But at that time, there will be delicious amounts of capital made if people are wise about their trading strategies. So we'll see. We will see. Let's move on here. I have one about commercial real estate. Should we do that? Commercial real estate lending, which is going to have a massive effect. This is from bisnow.com. Might as well cover it. Why not? It says record collapse. New report shows extent of regional bank pullback in CRE lending. And this is what people aren't seeing. They're not seeing these little intricate things that are happening within the West, within the United States, that's going to affect everything. Everything. They don't get it yet, but people will see. It says in the months after 3 shocking bank failures, there was more bank failures than that, but I understand those are the impactful ones. There were more banks that went down over the summer. They kept that real quiet, but we covered it here on the channel. There's more banks that stand to go down in the future, which, by the way, I'm going to make a lot of money off that. If people retreat to gold and silver and platinum, then I'm going to make some gains off that. But putting that to the side, a lot of them going to go down. It says, began a lending pullback of historic proportions, one that promises to continue. This is in the second quarter. Regional banks accounted for 25% of all new commercial real estate loans, worth $2.5 million, a 900 basis point drop from the first quarter. This is according to data published Wednesday by capital markets research firm MSCI. Tough times are coming. I'm telling you, tough times are coming, man. People better be prepared. But hey, they can do what they want. What do you say? What can you say? It says, well, we're going to skip this recession article. Let's skip that recession article. Let's go to a CBDC article. Let's close out with a CBDC article, okay? So this is from Cointelegraph.com, and it's titled, France, Singapore, Switzerland test cross-border CBDCs. Our time is coming faster than what people anticipated. This is Project Mariana was developed under the aegis of Bank for International Settlements. The Bank for International Settlements and central banks of France, Singapore, and Switzerland concluded a joint test of the cross-border trading and settlement of wholesale central bank digital currencies. The Bank of France issued the report on September the 28th. The so-called Project Mariana was developed by the Banque de France, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and the Swiss National Bank under the aegis of the BIS. It has tested the cross-border trading and settlement hypothetical euro, Singapore dollar, and Swiss franc CBDCs between simulated financial institutions using decentralized finance technology concepts on a public blockchain. All right. I think we just read something similar to that in one of these articles at the beginning. No, that was about JP Morgan. Was that one? JP Morgan article. I'm trying to look. Bear with me one moment. Where did we hear something similar to that? I believe it was the JP Morgan article. JP Morgan and Citibank. But look, we're deep in Europe. We're deep in the United Kingdom with the Bank of England. They're going to need something to connect everything together. Things are looking good. The timeline is speeding up. I love it because I don't want to wait. I'm patient, but I don't want to wait that long. And right now, because of everything being torn down in the legacy system, it looks like they are speeding up the deployment and testing of the new financial system, which, by the way, I have an article somewhere that I want to include in the members only video. Oh, yeah, I just found it. This one here is significant, and it shows the timeline has sped up. But I'll see you over there in the members only video. So now that you have this information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the money.